All right, so on this first one, we are going to be doing page 7 of the notes, and we're going to be doing rational equations, so decimals and fractions. So you're still going to first locate the variable. That's when I draw the box around it. Determine what's tied to it. Are you adding, subtracting? Then you're still doing the inverse operation. You're still checking. So I don't think that I'm going to have to spend a ton of time on these notes. I'm okay on this section if you use your calculator. You already proved to me in a past chapter that you can do decimals and fractions without a calculator. So I'm okay on these if you decide to use your calculator. So here is my line, here is my variable. I'm adding 7.8, so the opposite operation of adding 7.8 is to subtract, and I end up with 7.43, and I used my calculator. Okay, and then you can put that back in and you can check it with your calculator, do 7.43 plus 7.8, and make sure you get 15.23, which you will. Okay, so on the next one, I'm going to go jump to 3. So here's this. I'm subtracting 52.7, so the opposite operation is to add 52.7. And so my answer on this is 82.08. So go ahead and check that, make sure it's right, and we're good to go. So on the next one, I'm going to just jump down, and it's being divided by 7.2, so the opposite operation is to multiply by 7.2. I forgot my decimal. Okay, and so when I multiply by 7.2, I end up getting n equals 99.36. And so then you can check that answer and make sure when you divide it by 7.2, you get 13.8. I would like you to pause the video and do these 3. I'm just going to write answers up. And if they're wrong, then you get a hold of me and say, I missed number 4 on notes page 7, and we'll go over it. Pause and do them. Okay, 2 is W equals 33.493. 4 is K equals 24.8. And 6 is P equals 500. I would be happy to go over any of those if you just let me know. Okay, so on number 7 here at the bottom of the page, it says 16 is subtracted from. That means you've got to switch the order, that you're taking the number and you're subtracting 6.8. When you're subtracting from or decreasing from, you've got to start with that other one first, is 70.3. So here is this, I'm subtracting, so the opposite operation is to add. And again, I'm okay with a calculator. I get X equals 86.83. Okay, I would like you to pause the video and I would like you to do number 8. Okay, the answer on number 8 is N equals 63.27. So if you did not get that for an answer, get a hold of me and I'll go over it. Okay. All right. Then you turn the page and now we're on fractions. Okay, so the opposite of subtracting, right, is addition. So I'm adding 3/10. Okay, well, I need to write these with common denominators so I can add them, correct? So I'm going to go 20. So here I would have to times by 5. And so that's 5/20. Here I'd have to times by 2. So that's 6/20. So when I do this, my answer is 11/20. Okay. And so now you can check this. I would do 11/20 minus 6/20, right? Because it has to have like terms. And so that's 5/20, which reduces to 1/4. So it does check. Okay, I'm going to do number 11 here. We're going to kind of do the same thing we did last time. Opposite operation, I am minusing 1 and 5/6, so I'm going to add 1 and 5/6. And adding mixed numbers is not that bad, but I am going to have to rewrite this so that it has a 6 on the bottom. So wouldn't I times by 3, and it would be 6 and 3/6 plus 1 and 5/6. So if I add those, right, because I'm adding, I would have 7 and 8/6. 8/6 reduces to 1 and 2/6. And so if I put that together with the 7, I end up with 8 and 2/6. Now, why is this wrong? Because 2/6 can be reduced to 8 and 1/3. So we need to remember to always reduce. Okay? All right, so the last one. I'm dividing by 6/5. So how do you undo? What's the opposite operation of division? Is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply by 6/5. So remember, with multiplication, you just multiply straight across. So 15 times 36, that's 90 divided by 20. 4 times 5 is 20. So 10 goes into both of them. And I get 9 halves. And then I would write that as a mixed number, which is 4 1/2. Okay. I would like you to do 10, 12, and 14. Pause the video, do 10, 12, and 14. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do the answers again. If your answers are wrong, it is totally okay for you to tell me, hey, I need you to go over 10. Because I actually think 10 is kind of a tough question, but I'm going to just give you the answer. 2 5/18. 12 is C is 5 5/24. And 14 V is 2 3/4. I would happily go over any of these. Just let me know which ones I need to work through. Okay? Then the last thing, remember when you're dividing by a fraction, you are multiplying by its reciprocal. Okay? So if I'm dividing, because this is timesing by 1/3, I'm going to times by 3/1. Because then those would cancel, and 3 times 1/3 is just 1, so I just have A. So now I go straight across, 15/12. Okay, I can divide both of these by 3, and I get A equals 5/3. No, 5/4, sorry. So my answer is 1 1/4. Okay, try 16. Okay, before you even start 16, hopefully you notice this, you're going to have to change 45. This is 50/9. If you're going to multiply, they can't be in a mixed number. They need to be in an improper fraction. So I'm going to multiply this side by 7/4 because then these cancel. All right, and so if I go straight across, 7 times 50 is 175. 9 times 4 is 36. I don't know if anything goes into those. Well, 2 doesn't even. Oh, 7 times 50 is not. That's 350. Jeez. That's why. 350. Okay? Sorry. And so then I can divide those both by 2. Right? And now I can't do any more, so I'm going to play my little game again where I go into Desmos. And I have 175 divided by 18. That's 9, right? So 18 times 9 is 162, but I want 175. So that's 13. So that's 9 13/18. So K equals 9 13/18. These numbers are just getting bigger. Calculator, definitely. All right, so 2/5 of a number, so you're timesing it by that, is 30. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, so 5 halves, 5 halves. And so those would then cancel, and I get X equals, this would be 150 over 2. And 150 over 2 is 75. I don't know why I changed to an N. Okay. So the sum of 2/3, sum is plus, and a number is 1 5/8. So how would I get rid of adding 2/3? I would subtract 2/3. Okay, but now I'm going to have to write these. And when it's subtraction, I don't like leaving them. I'm going to change this to 13/8 minus 2/3. So now I need to make them both have the same denominator. So I think that's 24, right? I would times this by 3, so that's 39/24. I would times this by 8, so I'm minusing 16 24ths. So 39 minus 16 is 23 24ths. A lot of fraction work in that problem. So please let me know if you need help with any of these answers wise.